Hello. This is just going to be a video that I'm going to put out there. I don't want to make a high effort video on a tier list or anything right now, so I'm just going to record as if I'm live streaming this, and hopefully you can get all the information you want from it. Today we will be discussing the my Mongil Star Dive guide spreadsheet, which will be in the description of this video and maybe in the comment section as well. Um, this is a guide that I made after playing literally every single character at a Conquest 15 or Rift 20 to 22 level. Every single thing I say here has the experimental evidence and the math to back it up. Um, and we will be going over what this guide is talking about, as well as a tier list of the characters. And in the tier list, I want to present all the information that justify me placing each character in that tier. So if you're interested in the tier list, you can skip forward a little bit. But to understand a lot of the things that I'll be saying in that tier list, I want to go over things like Monsterlings and their main mechanics. Um, but for now, let's first go over what the spreadsheet is about. I have a front page that links to like various tabs in the spreadsheet. Navigate the spreadsheet using the tabs down here. So in announcements, I have an announcement on the upcoming changes in 1.1 and how it might affect team building. Basically, attack percent will likely be replaced with crit damage, and we will likely be using a lot of Amons. Rainbow Amon will probably be the meta because a blue Amon technically provides more damage than a yellow Golgak, which is ridiculous to think about, but crit rate is that powerful, and Amon is free crit rate. There will also be Narae, and I've seen so many different kits of her, I have no idea which one is correct, so I don't know what to think of her. Here is a navigation page for all the characters. These characters are listed based on their role in the party, not their class, because I think the class system is stupid. Yanhua is an assassin, but she is literally the second, maybe the strongest supporter in the game. Characters like Reyna and Cloud are breakers, destroyers, which are actually some of the strongest main DPS. We have characters like Benjamin, who's an assassin, whose kit looks like he's a sub DPS, but he's actually a main DPS. Bonnie is a support, but she's actually a really strong sub DPS, and her supporting is really bad. Flare is a supposed to be a sub DPS, but she does literally no damage, so she's better off in a support category. So, like, I think this is a better way of listing what the characters actually do than the classes in game. Here's the formatting. You can read this whenever you want. And each of the characters currently have that basically filled out. We have how good the dupes are, how much damage they do relative to other characters of their role, how much field time they take, what support they offer, a score out of 10 on how much I like them. Some rotation stuff down here. These are just meant to be preliminary, like basic intro rotations. You can modify them as you will. This is a description of what the characters excel at, their drawbacks, and other notes that I might have. And then here are some builds and teammates and stuff for each of the roles that they can fulfill. And I have that for almost every single character, except the ones that I don't really feel like writing it up for, and also the bricks. Like Sangoon is just a bad character. We'll get into that in the tier list, where I just don't recommend building him for anything. Alright, now, the part that is relevant for the tier list is Monsterlings, because I want to discuss some Monsterling mechanics that heavily impact how I rate some of the characters. These are the strongest Monsterlings in the game. Their effects greatly overshadow anything else that like the game has to offer. Amon offers 11% crit rate as a yellow for the whole team on an easy to proc effect that can be procced off field by characters like Yanhua and Angel. You can also stack them. So a yellow, purple, and blue Amon in your team will grant you a total of 27.5% crit rate that you can just get for free by having 3 Amons in your party and ways to proc them. characters that proc Amon very easily, like Yanhua and Angel, will get a boost in their tier list rankings just from that alone because of how strong Amon is. Scar is the generic damage booster. Golgak is basically Amon, but like in a different damaging category. His defense shred, as far as we know, stack linearly and directly translate to how much damage you output. Um, because of the stacking, just about every character, main DPS, sub DPS, support, will all run Golgak because you just stack them up and do more damage. Duo Zenny is Fire's broken Mon. There's no other Mon in the game with a good rank effect and a good link effect. In Fire, it's basically a better Golgak that you can run alongside Golgak. These two are the support, premier support link Mons. These both, El Dorado and Fiend, both can apply a debuff that increase the amount of weak damage taken. And Fiend is, out of Fiend, Golgak, and Amon's Shadow, Fiend is the one that lasts the longest. His duration is around 13 seconds, whereas Golgak lasts around 6.5, and Amon's Shadow lasts around 7 to 7.5. So you can put these two on your two supports and just have them support your main DPS with these two as their links. None of the other mons, like none of the element-specific mons like Teotar or Noxjung even come close to how much power these two bring. And finally, Kustos is just Francis's Golgak number 2. Like, Francis just gets access to a second Golgak, so yeah. I also listed some, like, normal powered monsterlings. These are literally all Duo Zinni, but diluted. Like, Moonshadow Loop is Duo Zinni's rank, but no, it doesn't have Duo Zinni's link. Swamp Odong is basically Duo Zinni's rank, but jankier because it requires switch skilling. Spoonmugger is Duo Zinni's rank, but lightning and only on lightning weak enemies. Teotar is Duo Zinni's rank, but in link form, so you can't really use it as easily, and same with Nocturne. With that in mind, it's time to discuss the tier list. I will go from the bottom up. This tier list will be basically base investments. So a lot of the 5-star characters here will be lower awakenings, like 0, 1, or 2. I think those are reasonable for like free-to-play players who want to lightly invest into a character to get. Like maybe you are like pulling on the Mina banner, for example, and you just like have enough pulls to get an A1 or A2, so it's reasonable. The 4 stars here will vary from like A0 to A6, because I think it is, with how many selectors we have and the threads shop and how many how many 4 stars we get from banners, it is quite reasonable that most people here have some A6 4 stars, like Cloud or Francis might be A6 for a lot of people. So I think it's correct that we should put them here at like medium to high awakenings. And big note here is that characters within a tier are ordered arbitrarily. So this tier list does not say that Esther is stronger than Mina. Everyone here is of comparable power. Alright, let's start from the bottom. Daisy's kit does not offer any damage boosts. We play a game where all the content is gated by a timer, so you want to do more damage. So in that case, why would you ever use Daisy over Francis, who gives a massive attack buff and an element weak buff as well? That's basically all the reason why she's here. She offers nothing but healing to the party. Now, Sangoon, and when I first made this tier list, I put him in B, because I played him against Amon and he was good. And then I moved him down to C when I played him a little bit more. And then I moved him down to Brick after I playtested him a whole bunch. So, I know this is not a very good video format, but it's basically like what I did during the live stream. let's go take a look at what Sangoon is capable of and why he is in brick tier. So here is a video of Sangoon using my main DPS setup that I use for all of my videos. And against Amon, you can see his damage is alright. And then, when he gets a counter in and activates his passive, his damage skyrockets. Like, this is good damage. This is like B tier character damage that you can get from, like, I don't know, Reyna or something. But and then like when you get his ult, his damage just freaking skyrockets because his like yellow counter synergizes with his skills when you have a dupe of him. And like this showing is good. Like he is a good character when he has his passive active, but the problem is he never has his passive active. Here is a example of him hitting Kustos, who is closer to all the other bosses in the game in terms of how many yellow attacks he does. And you can see he's just doing no damage. He gets Wild Fervor here, and look, his damage is good. And then it wears off, and his damage is bad again. He took almost, let's see, it took him 3 whole minutes to kill Kustos 15 with my main DPS gear. For comparison, the next worst DPS character, Sangoon, took 2 minutes to kill Kustos 15. That is ridiculous. Like, this character, I think, is the weakest DPS in the game outside of Sangoon, and he kills this boss in 2 minutes. Sangoon is truly brick tier. Next up is Liho. Liho at A6 has a lot going for him in a lot of categories, everything except how much damage he does. If you look at his damage ratios, his empowered basic attacks have a ratio of around 50, which is laughably low for a main DPS. His kit would have been really good if they just gave him real damage multipliers, but in his current state, he is weaker than both Verna and Angel as a main DPS, and weaker than Flare and Angel and Francis and Yanhua as a support. His 15% fire resistance shred is just not good enough. Flare A0. Flare is possibly the most overhyped character in the game on release. And I just have a few clips in my Discord to show of why I put her this low. Let's see. In this chat, from Yuri, I should add. How do I do the... Whoops. From... Blair. In author, user... Wait. I can't find it. Oh no. Why can I not search from... Add search filters. Game questions. Has video. Apply filters. What the hell is this? Alright. Dude, mobile Discord is so much better than PC Discord. Good lord. Has video, and I remember I typed the word worth with it. Right here. Alright. So, this is A2 F5 Flare with her maximum neutralization damage. And I perform her rotation. Look how much neutralization she does. And that is the same with her ultimate. So here I will use her skill and then cast her ultimate. Look how little neutralization she does. That much neutralization is equivalent to one Mina enhanced basic attack combo with no clones. Like, I showed that off during my live stream of making this spreadsheet. She does not neutralize. Her breaker tag is her destroyer tag is fake. Like, she does no neutralization. If you try her out with maximum damage, she does no damage. Like, Yanhua out DPS's sub DPS Flare even in fire content. Like, her damage is so bad. The only thing that Flare has going for her is that she has possibly the best ult in the game. And at A0, that ult is not the best ult in the game. It applies a 5% defense reduction. In other words, Flare at A0 does not do damage, does not neutralize, and does not debuff the boss. She is useless at A0. Going up to B tier. B tier is where low investment 5-star standard banner characters go to. Like Penny, Ophelia, Gabby, and Flare, I guess. G1 is also here. They are here because the 4-star characters with like medium to high levels of dupes are just better than them at dealing damage. Like, Benjamin does more damage than Penny, Cloud, and Sarah with Ophelia's Sig does more damage than Ophelia. Ellie does more damage than Gabby. So, by exclusion, you know, they just go one tier below. Reyna is down here because Benjamin exists. Benjamin is just a better main DPS than Reyna. Bonnie is here because the other supporters are too strong. Like, these two just... Even in wind teams, these two are just stronger supporters than Bonnie. Verna is here because Angel is a better main DPS and sub DPS, and everything she just does better than Verna. G1 is here because she only does things in wind, and her wind support is not even that good. Like, I think she gives around 30% wind damage boost at A0. Let me concur with the archives. How much is Divine Fervor? Not Divine Fervor, Divine Harmony. She gives 25% wind damage. Esther gives herself like 35 from her Sig. And that is stat saturation at its finest. G1 is a B tier character because her support in wind is actually less than Francis, and also her support is limited to wind. She does nothing outside of wind. Sarah requires Ophelia's Sig to shine, but if she has it, she is A tier, as I will show in momentarily. Esther and Mina at low investments are A tier characters. I don't think anyone will argue with that. They compare very well with the rest of the 4-star cast, except Benjamin. Benjamin A6 does way more damage than these two at A0 or A1. And to show that off, we're going to go search Benjamin. From... Why can I not do the from search? Filter, sent it includes. Let's go in general chat has a video, and I can probably find it. There we go. So here's a cute little bit of Benjamin. This guy, when he has A4, just does ludicrous amounts of damage with his skill. If you build CDR on him, he has no cooldown, so you can just continuously do this, and it just outputs more damage than the entire game could handle, to be honest. This guy is broken. Next up is Cloud. I'm sure everyone has seen my Cloud videos. Those are my most popular videos, some of them. Like, 5K views is crazy. Nobody cares about Mina or anything. Look at Cloud. His gun is very powerful, and he just does a lot of damage. Ellie is, I'm sure most people have seen my Ellie video. You can see, here, just how strong Ellie is. Angel, I've done an Angel video, and Sarah, I've done a Sarah video recently, and Sarah is still under like investigation. I'm still looking at better ways to optimize her damage. Um, what the fuck? Let me search. In my Gen Chat 3 has video. So I have done a lot of Sarah experimenting recently, and Sarah can even better utilize like Ophelia's Sig to deal truly ludicrous amounts of damage. Like here, watch as I do 500k followed by a big 1,500k. Just skill, basic attack skill. She also, you know, can blow up Rift really easily. Here's a stagger against Odong, where she slams for 340k, followed by a big 650k against a non-ice weak boss. And then at the end of the burst, she gets another one and slams in for a big 558k. Like, her damage is ridiculous. Her output is insane. We've talked about Benjamin. Yanhua is in the S tier because she's Yanhua. Her A1 applies a 25% defense shred that has around 55% uptime against any boss, basically. And it hits 4 times. If she summons a shadow, the shadow will also hit 4 times, meaning it hits anywhere between 4 to 8 times. That means she is literally the best holder of Amon and Golgak. She has 100% uptime on both of those Mons. And she never has to hit the field to apply either of those buffs to your party. So that, alongside with her amazing 25% defense shred uptime, just solidifies her as probably the most broken character in the game. Francis at A4 grants a 35% attack bonus to the next character that you swap to. And you don't need anything more than that. That alone just makes her a good character. And finally, we have Melody played on Heartstring. This is G1's signature, and its effect is, while you have more than 90% stamina, you will gradually stack this buff that increases all of your damage, and when and the stacks max out after 20 seconds, and then you have around 10 seconds to use those full stacks, and then the buffs go away. And this buff is so powerful that you should just use it on Francis. Like, any support can hold this thing. As long as you don't use stamina, you'll get the buff. And who wouldn't want to deal double damage for a rotation every 3 rotations? This Sig is so powerful that it overshadows every other support Sig in the game. Just use Melody. Down here we have a light investments tier list of like characters going up to around A4, and we can see like Mina and Esther, and basically all these characters moving up a tier because of their additional investments. You can look at this later, but that basically just goes over everything that I wanted to say for the tier list. If you're curious about why each of these characters land in the place that they land, go visit my YouTube channel and look at showcases of each of the 4 stars. They are truly this powerful. I hopefully made my argument against Flare very clear in this video. Flare just doesn't do enough. She does no neutralization damage, she does no real damage, and she has a really good ult that has around 40% uptime, and she does not offer enough support to the party compared to Yanhua or Francis, even in fire teams. As such, a lot of teams end up looking like this. Just use Yanhua and Francis, and you will likely win every single fight that you go up against. Alright, that will be all for this video, and hopefully you didn't mind me doing this no editing video. Goodbye.